Welcome to Learn Dutch Lesson 5. If you haven't seen Lesson 4 yet, you can click over here on the annotation, which will bring you to the video of Lesson 5. Today we're going to look at what the time is in Dutch. Normally I would do a quick recap of what we did in Lesson 4, but I decided not to do it because the lessons aren't really cooperative. You don't have to do them in a specific order. So if you want to see lesson 4, I suggest you to just go to the video or to my blog. But today we're going to do the time. The time in Dutch means de tijd in het Nederlands, or it's in Dutch de tijd in het Nederlands. And we're going to look at de tijd, which is the time. And in order to know what the time is, you need a clock, which is rather simply in Dutch klok, the clock. It's not clock, but clock. The clock. And on the picture you can see a little clock. The picture is kind of a guideline which can help to get a view of what a clock is. If you don't know what a clock is, that's a clock. First, a quick recap of some numbers. I already discussed them in a video, I think, but just to get them... just to get a reference of what the numbers are in Dutch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 are the numbers on a clock, on the normal clock. So I've only translated them, but there are more numbers of course, but they will come in the next coming slides. I'm going to count rather quick so that you get the hang of it. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I recommend you to make a print screen or to write them down, because you will need them in this video. So, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think the hardest ones for an English speaker is 8 and 9, because they have the ch sound. It's 8, 8, and 9, 9. So those are basically the numbers on a clock, aren't they? And in the Netherlands we have a clock system which is, I think, common in some parts of the world. It's a bit different than the English system. So I made a list. When it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, so not at night but in the afternoon, it's 12 uur. And in English it would be 12 p.m. So 12 p.m. in Dutch is 12 uur. Smiddags is what you can add. Smiddags is in the afternoon, smiddags. But 12 p.m. is 12 uur. 12 p.m. is 12 uur. And then in the afternoon we don't say 1 p.m. we say 13 p.m. It's a bit weird, but we count from 12 and we go on with counting. But we don't say 13 uur, because 13 is 13 in Dutch. We say 1 uur. So we say the number on the American way, like 1 uur, not 13 uur. On the English way, I'm sorry, not the American, but the English way. But we write it differently. So this is something that you really need to learn, or I guess accept, because it's rather easy, but it's a bit different than the English system. I'm just going to name them. So 1 p.m. in English would be 1 uur in Dutch. Yeah, it's just 1 uur, but it's p.m. in the afternoon, so you have to write 13. Not 1, but 13. So 13 is 1 uur, 13 is 1 uur. 14 is 2 uur. By the way, uur is hour. So 1 hour is also 60 minutes, so 1 uur is also 60 minutes, but we also use it for the time. 2 uur, 15 is 3 uur. 16 is 4 uur. 17 is 5 uur. 18 is 6 uur. 19 is 7 uur en 20 is 8 uur. So, when you see 13:00, 13:00, it's 1 o'clock. Yeah? And we say 1 uur. When you see 14, it's 2 uur. When you see 15, it's 3 uur. When you see 16, it's 4 uur. When you see 70, it's 5 uur. 18, 6 uur. 19, 7 uur. And 20 is 8 uur. And the English equivalents are on the right. So 13 is 1, 14 is 2, PM, by the way, not AM, PM. And this goes on, which you can see over here. 22 is 10 uur, which is 10 PM. So when you see 22, it's 10 uur, and then at night, 's avonds, in the evening, I guess. When you see 23 uur, it's 11 uur. It's 11 PM. 11 uur. Then we have the kind of break number, or the weird situation with 12 AM, 12 in the morning, so the beginning of the new day, more or less. Which would be 24.00, 24, but we actually just say 12, as the English, or the American, or the English language. So we write 0.00, but we don't say 0 uur, 0 o'clock, we don't say that, we say 12 uur, 12 AM. So 12 uur is 12 AM, at night, 12 uur 's nachts. No, we write 0.00, but we say 12 uur. Don't ask me why, but we just do that. Then it's the morning, which is for English speaking persons rather easy. It's the same way in the morning. So 1 AM is simply 1 uur, and you just write 1 and 1. 2 AM is 2 uur, 3 AM is 3 uur, and 4 AM is 4 uur, and that goes on until 12 PM. Then we go back to the system, which you can see here. So it's a bit weird, but as you can see, it's something to get used to, and you have to repeat it to get used of it. But it's easy if you know it, as if with everything. Now I'd like to look at the quarters. It can be 1:15. In Dutch we say 1:15, which is literally 1:15. 1:15. 15 minutes therefore are 1 kwartier, een kwart, a quarter. So we say 1:15 when it's 15 minutes past. Then you get 30 minutes, which is een half uur. Een half. Half is the half of it. 30 minutes are een half uur. And when this is a bit weird, when you see this time, which is 14:30, we say 2:30. Not half past 2, but we say 2:30, I guess, in English. Yeah, we say that because it's 30 minutes after 2, you're 30 minutes closer to 3, and therefore we say 2:30. 2:30. It's a bit weird, but when you see 14:30, so 2:30 PM in this case, or yeah, PM, 2:30 PM, you say 2:30. You have to count through. It will be more clearer later on. And then we have 3 quarters, 45 minutes. We say 4:15 because it's 4:15 means a quarter before. Because yeah, we thought that would be nice in Dutch. I don't know why, but it's just because you only have a quarter left to the next hour, you have to say 4:15, a quarter before. So as an example, I put 3:45 PM, and you have to say 4:15, quarter before 4, because there are only 15 minutes left till 4 PM. That are the quarters. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You already saw them, but these are the most important words when it comes to counting or looking at the time. Over. You have to say getal, which is number, minutes over uur. For example, 5 minutes, 5 minuten over 3 is 5 minutes past 3. So after is in our case over. And when you have to say that some minutes are before the hour, you have to say voor. Getal, number, minuten voor 3 or whatever number you can think of. So over is when the minutes are after the hour, and before is a voor in Dutch is when the minutes are before the hour, before the next hour. And so that's something you need to realize. Here you can see what I mean. When with the half hours, when you have 20 minutes in an hour, or 40 minutes, or 25 or 35, you say, for example, 10 minuten voor half 2. 10 voor half 2, we say. What time is it then? It's 1:20 p.m. in this case, in the example, because it's 13:20. So it's 20 minutes past 1 in English, and in Dutch we say 10 voor half 2. Because 13:30 is half 2. Yeah, you know why? Because 13 is followed by 14. So 1 is followed by 2, so we have to say 2, which is 2 in Dutch. So 10 voor half 2. Another example is 2020, 8:20, which is 10 voor half 9, because 20 is followed by 21, and 21 is 9 in Dutch, so we have to say 9, 10 voor half 9. So these two examples make it a bit more clear what I mean. If it's 20 minutes past a certain hour, you have to say 10 voor half, and then the hour which comes after the hour. So again, 13:20 is 10 voor half 2, and 2020 is 10 voor half 9. If you have 40 minutes after a certain hour, you have to say 10 over half. The same half as the number which you used for 10 minutes before. But now you have to say after. So, an example is 12:40, which is 10 over half 1. Because 12 is followed by 13. And you have to write 1. Because 13 is 1. It's like math, isn't it? And another example is 15:40, which is 10 over half 4. You have to say 4 because 16 is 4 and 3. 15 in this case is 3, so you have to say 4, 10 over half 4. So, to wrap it up, this part of the lesson, 10 minuten voor half and 10 minuten over half. But you can also say 5 minuten over or 5 minuten voor. Both count for other numbers when it comes to the half break of an hour. It's a bit complicated, so I've just put some random examples here to get a bit of a feeling for the hours, because it's a bit technical. When you see 1.00 on a Dutch clock, it is 1 uur 's nachts, 1 o'clock at night, 1 a.m. So 1.00 is 1 uur. When you see 2.15 on a Dutch clock, it's 2:15 's nachts, 2:15 a.m. 2:15 's nachts. When you see 3:30, it's 3:30 's nachts. It's 3:30 a.m. When you see 4 uur 4:05, it's 5:04 's nachts. 5 minutes past 4 a.m. When you see 5:13, 5.13, it is 13:05. And it's kind of a break, but you can say at night, 's nachts, or you can say in the morning, 's ochtends, or AM. When you see 6:20 on the clock, it is 6:50 's ochtends. Yeah? 6:50 's ochtends. And when you see 6:25, it is 6:55 's ochtends. These were random examples. And I'm going to try to put more examples on my blog. But it's a bit complicated, as you have been seeing in this video, which is already very long. I suggest to look it again if it went a bit too quick, or to go to my blog where everything has been written down, so that you can slowly repeat. But for now, bedankt voor het kijken. Thanks for watching. If you haven't seen lesson 4, you can click over here, and lesson 3 you can click over here. And I won't bother you any longer, so thank you for watching and see you next time.